Is this the coziest game ever? From Indonesian developers Rolling Glory Jam comes an incredibly wholesome game about a boy named Iko and his dog as they journey through the afterlife. Make friends and help people in need through heartwarming dialogue, fun mini-games, and a children's storybook aesthetic that is sure to make you feel warm and fuzzy inside. But don't be fooled by this childlike approach. There's a deeper meaning behind this adventure.
It's a game developed by Rolling Glory Jam, and they're developers from Indonesia. Their last collaboration was with the late Fahmi for What Comes After, which is also another beautiful, amazing indie game. For those that don't know, Fahmi was the creator writer of Coffee Talk, indie phenomenon, not only here in Southeast Asia, but his follow-up game called What Comes After was a collaboration with Rolling Glory Jam. So after that, they made Hello Goodboy, and it's very much in the same vein where it's an indie game where it is just this gorgeous cartoony art style, and it's almost like it is a narrative adventure game where typically you would go left to right on the screen, interact with a couple characters, but the whole point of it is just to tell a really beautiful, moving story whilst the player completes very simple yet intriguing mini games.
Is the gameplay like a Space for the Unbound where you've got like a character and you're just kind of like walking around, fetch questing, getting to know people? It's kind of like the gameplay is simple and it's like it sets the tone for like an incredible story. Is that kind of how?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know what it is about like the Southeast Asian games ecosystem. I mean, I know you and I are quite familiar. We did the review for A Space for the Unbound in our like second episode alongside June, right? But there's something in the water in Indonesia, and I know there's like millions of people in that country. So it's not even like that's, I don't know if that's a proper like analogy, but the most beautiful games I feel like have come out of Indonesia, where it is just a very small slice of lifey type experiences where you're a character and you're just interacting with the world and its characters. But I feel like these developers have so much to say with that interaction. So for it, Hello Goodboy, you play as a character called Iko. Which I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's a nod to, obviously Eco, shout out the Colossus developers. The whole point of it is just like you enter a dream state where you find a talking dog called Coco, and you're in this fairy tale-esque world where you go from biome to biome, but each biome has a set of characters that are either experiencing trouble, or the world itself has like this black ooze rot kind of scenario where you have to solve the puzzle to get rid of the black ooze. But the magic outside of that is really like, again, there's something about Indonesian developers about how they use music, how they use dialogue, and how they use visuals to build this like eclectic crescendo of moments where I've experienced this in A Space for the Unbound. I've experienced this in When the Past Was Around. And both those games are by Mojiken Studio, but Rolling Glory Jam really did something very similar to Mojiken, where there are moments in this game where it's just so intimate and not flashy, but just so human and truly moving. So I try not to get choked up by Southeast Asian indie games because it's a trope at this point. Yeah, because I always do.
The trope is our crying over another Southeast Asian indie game.
Absolutely. So like, but if you guys are looking for a really just good, wholesome time, Hello Goodboy is your fix. I will say as well, it's not that challenging.
How long is the game?
My runtime was about 2 hours, I would say. Okay. And that includes a new game plus, for the record. So it's really interesting. My criticism about the game, you kind of like set me up perfectly for that, Reno. It's like, you can technically complete the game in less than an hour, I think. But in order to get the true ending, you have to play a new game plus that allows you to go to the different biomes that you weren't able to. That you didn't select,
so like the alternate sort of pathways. Yep. Okay.
So there are 4 doors. I did through 2 doors and I finished the story, and then I was like, oh, new game plus is available. But I couldn't go to those other 2 doors in my first run through. You had to finish the game. And that's my weird frustration about it, where it's already a short experience, and I don't blame games for being short, but a weird experience that I had was like, why don't we just go to all 4 and have the true ending just be like solve all the mini games? This one, it kind of secluded me just to 2 experiences. I don't know if that was just my specific playthrough or that's typical for everybody else, but it was a very weird one where I've never seen a new game plus in an indie game before ever. That's a lie. I mean, I haven't. It's not a very common kind of like aspect in indie games, but this one definitely it's almost as if it was like shoved in to do a new game plus. But regardless, it's still beautiful to go through those worlds.
It sounds like a similar challenge that we raised when we talked about Cabaret on the previous episode with Sakina, which is that there's no, like, the save points are not very clear in the game. So you can't do what most people would do in a visual novel, which is save just before you make the decision tree, come to the decision tree. And then you can explore all the different options by creating multiple save files. Like the way that they have their game structured as well is you kind of go through this whole thing, you get this ending, and then you're like, oh, I got to go back and like start over to experience like all the different pathways. So just like, yeah, interesting things to note with these indie games.
Yeah, absolutely. But I like that there's that replayability aspect in this one compared to some others. Maybe they really try to facilitate that better, which is I think perfect, right? If you're making a 2-hour indie game, you don't want the player to just be like, okay, that was a good 2 hours. I'm gonna peace, right? This is like, okay, it's an hour ish. I'm still unsatisfied from the overall experience, so I'm gonna keep going and keep going through it. But I will, again, like other things I love about Hello Good Boy and the magic of this game is that it is just a nice breath of fresh air. But also the reason why it's a good breath of fresh air is because it's executed so well, where the animation is, I think at the get-go, if you look at trailers for the game, it is gorgeous, it is beautiful. But I think Rolling Glory Jam does something so magical with the finesse and the nuance of their animation, where there's a specific animation of Iko hugging the dog, where they not only hug the dog, they pull the dog in closer, and you're seeing the movement and the weight of that animation so well articulated. And it doesn't stop there. I feel like the way they move the camera, the way they do landscapes, the way they do color in this game is something that, I don't know, it's almost underappreciated, but there's just so much class and finesse that they're pulling off with Hello Good Boy that I haven't seen enough people talk about. So for me, the highlight is definitely the art and the animation. It looks like a children's storybook, but the way that they build on that visual style and really make it maybe transport it to a game sense, a game kind of like medium, is like just major props. Like it is so fascinating the way that they did that.
I think that's a great point to sort of add to your argument of like, a game shouldn't be defined by the length of play, right? But like the quality of it. So it might be a couple of hours, but within it are these little moments where they've really put detail into like, so you can feel the weight of hugging an animal, or so you can feel like the sound haptics or something like that, or the music in it. So that sounds awesome. I really want to get into it. I've seen a lot of people say good things about Hello Good Boy.
Yep. I'm really excited. I mean, for me, it's I always say this with other indie games. If this is what they have now, I can't wait to see what they do with more budget, more scope, what other stories they can tell, because the emotions are just everywhere with this game. And it's we should celebrate, I think, games that just want to tell a very simple story, or just that have an emotional connection, despite not being the most flashy in its gameplay, or in its length or whatever have you, right? So I just had a great time. Major love to the folks out there. We did a nice little code giveaway online as well. So, and I've seen some other people play and stream a lot of Hello Good Boy. So go pet your dog, everybody. What a nice, wholesome. Just
for those of us who don't have dogs.
Yeah, I don't have a dog either.
I've got the rat from Spirited Away. Like,
that's awesome. Yeah, we can do a little pat there. Yeah.
Thanks again for watching the 20M podcast review of Hello Good Boy. If you're interested in hearing more of our thoughts on the game, check out the full episode here.